I'm going to explain why 2026 is going to be your best year ever. This actually doesn't mean that everything's going to suddenly be perfect. But you're a different person now than you were before, because you've just begun to realize what you want quite clearly. You never knew that before. You very definitely know what you don't want and what you are not prepared to accept anymore compared to before. You've become much wiser about the things that tried to break you. You're not going to be standing around watching others making progress that's yours to grab hold of, thinking it's not the right time, or you're not good enough, not experienced enough, not old enough, not young enough. Because you're all of these things. You're no longer waiting for someone to say you can do something, someone to give you permission. You now know that you're better than that, because you've developed trust and belief in yourself. And this is because of all the work that you've put in over the past year, and actually no one has noticed either. But it's definitely changed you, and it's made you ready for 2026 and the rewards that you so richly deserve. So 2026 isn't just going to be another year. It's going to be the year of change, the turning point for you. And you know what? I know you're ready.
Hey y'all, my name is Renashe and I go by Shay, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm still trying to learn a new intro for me, but I don't know, we just gonna have to do what it do. But anyway, Merry 2026. I know a lot of people are excited for this new year. I know a lot of people have plans for this new upcoming year, and a lot of people like myself may be a little bit anxious of this new year. I think I've said it before in my previous YouTube videos that January of each year is always anxiety inducing for me, because you never know what this year may bring, good or bad. I always get a little bit anxiety around the new year, but it is what it is. We're just going to push through it. But in this video, I wanted to share 8 things that I learned in 2025. The reason why I chose the number 8, because 8 is the number of new beginnings. A part of me feels like 2026 is a new beginning for me. 2025 was a year of me kind of learning to be independent from my mom after losing her, learn how to be fully financially independent, learning how bills work, learning how mortgage work, learning how life works, health work. This was definitely a year of learning for me, 100%. And not even just for me, my sisters as well. Everything that I've learned about myself and life and things, I am definitely going to apply it in 2026. 2026, I feel, it's a new beginning for me. I don't know. I hope 2026 is a new year, but as I stated in my previous videos, I have no expectation. Y'all be seeing those TikTok trends on TikTok when they be like, oh, 2026 or 2025 is my year. And then it's like the next scene is like everything they went through. So I'm not even going to say that. I'm just going to say I am approaching this year a little bit different. So yeah, 2026, I wouldn't say this will be new for me, but it's definitely going to be something that I'm going to continue to do from what I started in October. Anyway, let's get started. So the first thing I learned in 2025 was that things take time. This year I had to do a lot of stuff. I had to get a car for me and my family. I had to handle a lot of paperwork, especially in the beginning of this year. And what I found about myself is that I don't like to have stuff weighing on me. If there is a issue, if there is something that needs to be done, I like to go ahead and get it over with quick and then move on to the next to-do list. That's how I work. And certain things like estates, weight loss, that takes time. It's not something that, you do it in a day and then you get the body that you want next day. I wish it was like that, but it's not. Stuff like that takes time, but it's just like I hate when stuff is on my mind and weighing on me and on my to-do list. I need to be done, and I want it to be done right then and there, but things take time. The next thing I learned is that everyone's path is different. Being on social media can push you to compare your life to others. And sometimes when you are experiencing a life-altering event, you realize that while your life may feel like it's falling apart, some people's lives are coming together. Doesn't mean yours won't. It just mean it's not your time because it's not your path. And I had to learn that the hard way. I think in my video, of my productive video, I stated that like I was dealing with like envy a little bit. And I think it was due to comparison. I think it was due to me watching other people on YouTube, watching other people on TikTok, and like seeing their life flourish and stuff like that, while I'm out here stressing and worrying about my future and my health and this and that and the third. So you really start to get that envy, and you really start to feeling of like, dang, like, will I ever get that feeling? Will it ever happen for me? Will I ever feel what they're feeling? Will I ever get whatever they're feeling? Or will I always be overlooked? Will I always be underappreciated? Or, you know, I had that conversation with myself in that video, but that was definitely something I learned, and I've definitely had to cut back. I haven't been on Twitter since October. I haven't been on Threads since October. Instagram is not something that I really get on because it's a lot of older people and like people I went to high school with. It's like, I don't really care what y'all got going on, but pretty much just funny videos. But Instagram, Twitter, Threads can be very depressing, and you're just constantly comparing. And so if you're out here dealing with like envy or like comparison, I would definitely advise to turn off that phone, because sometimes it really do be that phone. Whichever app is like that has a stronghold on you, delete it. So number 3, the next thing I learned is that you really need hope and faith to survive. In life, there are things you can control and things you simply cannot. When you have done everything you can, you will really need to turn to your faith and give it to God. There is only so much one person can do in this life. Some things take faith and hard work. There's also things in this life that cause you to be discouraged and defeated, but you cannot give up. Hold on to that hope. When it comes to my faith, I did grow up in the church, but it wasn't something that was like forced upon me. It's just something that we've always did. I really didn't really have a strong faith. It was just something that I just did. It was just something that like, okay, Saturdays we go out to eat, we go to the mall, we shop. Sundays is for church. That's just what we just did. But I've never really personally had my own personal relationship with God. I won't even say it till my mother passed. I would say until COVID. You know, COVID was a lot. It was too much going on. You know, celebrities dying left and right. People were dying left and right. I think 2020 really brought me close to the Bible and definitely started my prayer life. But I do believe after my mom passed and this year, I really needed guidance. And I really felt like I can only get guidance from God himself. I really needed that. And I think due this transition of me losing my mom, being discouraged, being depressed, worrying about my health now and worrying about my sister's health, you know, it's just that constant worry because you just don't know anymore. And what you thought you knew about your life, you have absolutely no idea. So just being confused and lost during grief, it really makes you lean on your faith, because grief, there really is no answer to it, and you really just have to like push through it, and you really just have to like lean on God and lean on your belief and lean on a higher power, because things can turn around for you. But when you're dealing with grief, there's no solution. The person you loved and missed is no longer here, and you can't just go get them back. So you have to lean on something, and you have to get strength from something, and you have to lean on that higher power to get through it, because if you don't, it's just a downhill. And I think that's what's getting me through 2025, or just getting me through life in general, is that like I feel that there is a brighter side on the other half of this. I feel like it's going to get better for me, and it's going to get better for my family. I just have to keep going to get there. Number 4, discipline is going to change your life. For the last 2 years, there has been one thing I have always wanted to work on: my discipline. I have always been a girl who does what she wants when she wants. And if I don't feel like doing it, I simply was not going to. But that has to change. The life I want and the things I want take hard work and faith. I am tired of sitting around waiting for things to change. The change starts with me and my discipline. I added this in here because, as I stated before, I'm really on this weight loss journey, and I'm just trying to grow my content, and that takes a lot of discipline. As I stated, like I've always been the type of person who is like, if I don't feel like doing it, I'm not going to do it. Like I'm just not going to do it. But I cannot continue to live like that. Like, I have to keep pushing even if I don't feel like it. I have to discipline myself. Like, Shay, you said you were going to do this, so do it. Why are you stopping? I know you're tired. You may be mentally exhausted, but it's all going to be worth it if you just keep pushing. How bad do you want it? How tired are you of the same thing? How bad do you want something different? That's something I had to learn this year, is like discipline and doing things even when you don't feel like it really will push out results that you may have never thought that you would get, simply because you disciplined yourself and you did what you said you were going to. Number 5, self-esteem and self-confidence are two different things. I thought I was a very confident person because of how I carried myself and what I tolerate in my life. But confidence is way more than that. This year I had to make certain decisions in my life that not only affect my life, but my family's. When doing that, I learned that I am not as confident as I thought I was. I question myself a lot. I question everything that I say or do. Not because I'm scared, but because I don't know if I'm making the right decision, or because I don't know if I am on the right path. Once again, I feel like I touched on this in my Productive Day in a Life vlog, where I've learned the difference between self-esteem and self-confidence. Like, I know who I am as a person, and I know my value, and I know my self-worth. Like, and I know what I'm not gonna deal with. Like, I know what I'm not gonna tolerate. But self-confidence is like not being sure of yourself. Just not being sure. Like, I really do feel like, prior to everything that happened, I was sure that this is how my life was going to turn out. I was sure that this is how it's going to be. I was sure that this is how, I was so confident about how my life was going to turn out before my mom passed. But after she passed, and in realizing that we have absolutely no control over this life, I lost a lot of confidence. Things that I thought I knew about how this life worked, I have absolutely no idea, because you really don't know what you're going to get in this life, and you really don't know how your life is going to turn out, good or bad. And I think for me, that kind of crushed my self-confidence, because I don't know. I like making videos. I like posting, and I enjoy my YouTube channel, but I don't know if it's going to be successful. I don't know. I don't know if this is my calling. I don't know. I don't know if I should be posting this, or if this is a good thing to post on my YouTube channel. This may be boring content. I don't know. I question everything, and I constantly questioning myself. Definitely this year, I've definitely learned that I really thought that I had self-confidence because I just didn't tolerate people's BS. But self-esteem and self-confidence are two different things, and that was definitely a learning point for 2025. Number 6, it is sometimes okay to be selfish. For what feels like the majority of my life, I have put people's wants and needs above my own. I have neglected myself to make others feel comfortable. I feel like I have hindered my own growth so that others can flourish. I can no longer do that. I am 26 years old, and I want to live my life. I want to be happy, successful, wealthy, in love. I want it all. I refuse to let other people hinder my success or dreams. I will always be there for them, but I need to start doing what's best for me. Number 6 was definitely a lesson that I had to learn in 2025, because I adore my sisters. I adore my grandmother. I adore my family. Even my mom, I always put her wants, my sister wants before myself. And I do feel like a part of me, I felt like that kind of hindered my growth a little bit, because it's like I'm not doing what I need to do to help myself grow and be independent and whatever, but I'm doing what makes everyone comfortable. I'm doing what is best for everyone else, not necessarily what's best for myself. And I'm just simply tired of that. A lot of people in my family call me Mother Shay, because people feel like I'm the mother of my family or the mother of my sisters. But I don't want to be a mother. I am not a mother. I don't have no kids. Did nobody come out of this cooch? I'm 26 years old, 27 years old. I'm in my 20s. I should be shaking ass on a yacht. Like, I am nobody's mother. I've always tried to keep things in order, and I always try to steer my sisters in the right path, but they're grown. They're in their 20s, honey. I'm in my 20s. What? And I'm nobody's mother. I don't want to get that title until I get married and I pop out a baby out of this kid. Until then, I'm just a girl in her 20s. I'm just a girl. I always put people above myself. And yeah, I feel like people don't put me above their self. So it's like it's not reciprocated. I'm not going to continue to pour into people while my cup remains empty. It's not going to happen. Number 7. You have to leave people where they are. We all want to see the best in certain people. I sometimes want people to behave the way I want them to, or make the decisions I want them to make. but you can't force adults to do things they simply do not want to do. You have to let them make their own decisions, make mistakes, and learn from their mistakes. I am no longer going to stress about what grown adults decide to do with their life. That is the life they chose. So be it. This point is kind of an addition to the previous point, being selfish. As I was going to therapy, she was just saying, like, you can't worry about other people's decisions. You can give them advice. You can let them know, like, hey, I feel like you should do X, Y, Z. But that is their life and their life decisions, and you have to be okay with that. I cannot stress about what other people decide to do with their own life. I cannot stress about what people decide to do with their own money or their own health. I cannot stress about that. I can say, hey, I think we should all do this, or I think you should do that. But if they choose not to do that, you have to step back and say, well, that's their life, that's their decision. And I just felt like I've just spent too much of my years worrying about that. Everyone is not perfect. Everyone has their own demons and battles that they're all wrestling with. Even myself. Obviously, you want people to move a certain way to help you because you know deep down inside, if the shoe was on the other foot, you would do it for them. But you can't expect you out of other people. So you gotta leave people where they are. Some people are just simply not gonna give you what you want because you would do it for them. Some people are just not like that, and you can't stress yourself out trying to get them to do what you want. Leave them where they at. Okay. The last thing I learned in 2025 is number 8. Only control what you can. This past year, I've learned that life is going to happen regardless. So to worry about things that I cannot control will be a waste. If there is a task that needs to be done, complete it. Do it and move on. Things that are out of your hands are simply out of your hands. There's nothing you can do. Don't stress it. Give it to God and move on. And that is another thing I've learned while I was in therapy, is that only do what you can. Anxiety is simply worrying about things that hasn't happened yet. And my thing is, there are things in life that you simply cannot control, like taxes and death, I think. So it's just like, for me, like, I'm worried about my breast. I'm worried about my sister's breast. Because I'm so worried, I'm going to go get a mammogram to calm that noise in my head. But as far as like things that haven't happened yet, like the future, things that I can't control, I can't worry about that because it simply has not happened. At the end of the day, you can't control what happens to you, but you can only control what you can. As far as money and career and whatever, I can only do what I can. Like, I want to grow my YouTube channel. I don't know if it's going to grow, and I'm worried that it's not going to grow. Well, what can I control? I control making content every day, being consistent on my YouTube channel, pushing out as much content as I can to make it grow. And that was like one of like the major things that I've learned this year. Is like, I can only do what I can. What can you do to resolve that anxiety or resolve that worry? Then do it. If you can't do anything right now in your power right now, stop worrying about it. If you have a worry and you can't do nothing about it, don't worry about it. What Marvin Sapp say? Was it a Marvin Sapp song? Is it Marvin Sapp? After you've done all you can, you just stand. All you can do is just give to God. What can you do now? And then whatever you can do now, do it. And then after you've done what you could do, leave it alone. Because worrying about it is not going to resolve it. But yeah, that was pretty much the 8 things that I've learned in 2025. 2025 was not a terrible year for me. It wasn't. It was definitely moments where I broke down and I cried and I stressed, but I don't know. I feel like in those moments, I really learned a lot about myself, and I feel like those moments are needed for growth. There were definitely moments where I cried and broke down and just was worried about what God was going to do in my life and just worried about where my life was headed. But I don't know. I just have this faith that's in me that things are just going to work out, and I just have to keep going until it does. And that's just what I'm going to continue to do. Overall, like, I got my license this year. I got a primary care physician this year. I went to go see Beyonce this year. I had a great birthday this year. We traveled. We got a new car this year. Like, there were definitely blessings this year that I am happy that we experienced, and I really hope 2026 brings even more fun, joyous moments because, you really need that. Like I said, you really need that faith. You really need that hope that things are going to turn around. So Merry 2026 to all of love you guys. I really do hope you guys have a prosperous, a glorious, a beautiful 2026. Even throughout the year of 2026, if you have rocky moments, know that you will also have fun moments. It's not going to be all bad. Yeah, I do hope you guys have a great 2026. I do hope you guys enjoy this video. If you enjoy this video, I do hope you stay around and like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.